Let's get to it. Bringing you the greatest and the brightest creators, leaders, and innovators from around the globe. We'll always leave you with joy, jewels, and justice. Purpose over popularity is our motto. Now let's get to it. It's consulting time. Tap in to It's Consulting Time with your girl Lily Mae on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and ID 104 Radio, home of the independently dope via the Live 365 app. You never want to miss these intentionally purposeful conversations with creators, leaders, and innovators from around the globe. Tap in, tap in, tap in.
You are the sunshine, sunshine of my life. You are the sunshine, sunshine of my life.
You're listening to ID 104 Radio, home of the independently dope. Baby, you know you are our sunshine. May you stay tuned in, all right?
Baggage in tow, running into dead ends, feeling real discouraged. But one day I built up the nerve and courage, dried my tears, got my eyes on the prize. Try to keep me down, but still I rise. Can't knock me down, whether win or lose. Life is what you make it in the path you choose. Won't give up, no, I refuse. We can all make a change, but it starts with you. This is for the ones who are placed on the road less traveled. This is for my soldiers who are faced with the many battles. Don't you give up, don't you break your spin. This is not the end. Live another day, you can try again. Still a chance to win. Hey there, queen, readjust your crown. Hold your head high, quit looking down. Everybody goes through things sometimes. We our own worst enemy in our mind. Hey king, don't you give up on the 9 to 5. It's easier to hit the block and go and grind. Got the world on your shoulders with a family to feed, but it's never too late to drop down to your knees. Can't knock me down, whether win or lose. Life is what you make it in the path you choose. Won't give up, no, I refuse. We can all make a change, but it starts with you. This is for the ones who are my soldier to a place with a many shadows. Don't you give up, don't you break to spin. This is not the end. Live another day, you can try again. Still a chance to win.
Hi, great people. I am so excited to be back with you this week. Last week was utterly amazing, and we talked a lot about the history of journalism last week. So, first and foremost, I want you to just stop, take a minute to reflect on the video that you just saw. And before I even dive in, I want to definitely shout out the ladies of the Road Less Traveled Body Confidence Tour. Guys, this is a mission. This is a movement. This is a platform that is near and dear to my heart. And as I don't want to say leave, but as I shift gears and go back into the things that are really important and that really matter to fellow man, not just self-serving things, this movement is definitely going to shake up the atmosphere, as a lot of us are feeling that shift in the atmosphere now. And I don't want to get into that too much right now, but I definitely want you to go back after we finish today. Go back and just take a look. Take a look at the video. Take a look at the people in the video and just think to yourself, what is the road that I'm traveling on? Is it the road the most traveled, or is it the road less traveled? And baby, sometimes on that road less traveled, that's where you find the best of the best. I'm just saying. All right. Back to journalism. So, guys, tonight is going to be super duper fun because we're talking about journalism, but we're also talking about influences, whether you're a journalist or an influencer. And so we have a spectacular gentleman here this evening. I have a special guest co-host, but I also have a special guest. And I don't want to call him an influencer because y'all know me and y'all already know my thoughts on that title, influencer. This gentleman is an impactor, right? He's an innovator, right? This gentleman went from being a 9 to 5, right? Corporate America, financial, just a guru, right? In his own right. But he decided, okay, you know what? Let me do something different and let me invest in me and bet on me. And so, guys, tonight, I want you to really listen, open your mind, open your heart, and hear what this spectacular gentleman has to say. So tonight, I want you to allow Box Truck Shawty to introduce you to the high-grossing, recession-proof passive income method that he created. Hello!
Hello, how you doing?
I am amazing. Look, first and foremost, thank you for being here. And give us a little background just on yourself. And then let's talk about the business.
Well, thank you for having me, by the way. A little background about me is I'm pretty much just like everybody else, I would say. Went to school. I came to Atlanta in 1996, went to Clark Atlanta University. I graduated with a psychology degree. While I was in my freshman year, my mom passed away, and I was promised I was going to go to school. So I ended up sitting out of school a couple years, then going back to school and graduating. Got into the infamous rat race, the 9 to 5, corporate America. Did that for 16 years. Always knew I wanted more, and I tried everything under the sun to, make money. And when the pandemic hit, I was doing real estate, flipping houses. And after that kind of, I ain't gonna say tank, but it came to a standstill. I was like, man, I got to leave my 9 to 5, and I needed something that was recession proof or something that would allow me to leave. And then that's when I jumped into the logistics industry and took off. And so that's my, short little background about me.
All right. Well, okay. So let's walk through this. So, just to kind of let you know, it's consulting time is, I always say, this is like coming to grandma's living room, right? And when you in grandma's house, grandma gonna ask you every question under the sun. She need to know the who, the why, the when. She need to know what their last name is, because she need to know if y'all kinfolk or whatever. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go back though. And guys, this is a quote that I pulled directly from Box Truck Shawty here. And I'm going to put it back up in a minute, but let's go back and let's just pick this story apart.
Okay.
All right. You went to school first.
Yes.
And you majored in psychology.
Uh-huh.
And I know a lot of people don't know, guys, realistically, if you don't get a PhD in psychology, or if you don't go back to school and get a master's in clinical mental health counseling or clinical social work and get licensed, you're not making any money, period. So babies, if you listen, and I had to learn that the hard way. So I'm just saying, you got to get licensed in something if you want to make some money. So let's start there.
Uh-huh.
When you realized, I done got this degree in psychology, what in the heck? What was next for you? How did you begin to navigate and figure out what you were going to do?
Well, when I first started college, I wanted to be a physical therapist, and it was supposed to be 3 years at Clark and then 3 years at Georgia State, but the program fell apart. And then like my sophomore year, I think it was, then I switched to biology, and I was like, I can't do nothing with a biology degree. But then I switched to psychology. Then I was going to go into the law enforcement, like the Secret Service or the FBI. But that would have required me to move to like the DC area, and I didn't want to do that.
Amen.
Yeah. So I was like, so that's when I ended up switching to psychology. But then in my last, year of psychology, I really wanted to go to law school. That became my, my passion of wanting to go to law school. But I had a son. And then once I had a son, it was this, my kid's mother told me, like clear as day, boy, you need to go out and get a job. So that killed my law school dreams. So then that's how I ended up, just getting a job, a 9 to 5. But you're correct. And I didn't want to go back to school for psychology because I really didn't want to do psychology. It wasn't really my passion. So that's why I didn't go back to get my master's of PhD.
Okay. So, all right, you know what? First of all, I'm going to say this. I know you're doing well, but if you have the time and if you have the patience and you can do it part-time, and I'm only telling you because I just completed my studies in July. Go back to law school. You don't, and I say this because it's not even to get barred in practice. What I have found is that the research piece and being able to provide empirical data to the people that make the decisions, and it's coming from somebody that a lot of the decisions that made will impact, but the people that's making decisions don't look like the people that the decisions will impact. Jabbar, it means something. And so even if it's you guys take a course here and there, if you find it in your heart, if you find the time, I'm for real. I can already tell just from your journey, you knew you had to do something. You knew you wanted to do something. And that was instilled in you from home. Right, I already know what time it is. And I'm with you. I won't go into that DC area. Shout out to my best friend, Chelsea. We both thought that we were going to do FBI. Me, I thought I wanted to be a marshal. And I was like, oh, hell no. Y'all can't go back and talk to my elementary school teachers because they might tell you, oh, no, she don't need to be the marshal.
Yeah, and that's crazy. That's crazy. That's the same way I thought too. And then my first cousin, he went into the Secret Service and he became a Secret Service agent. And he was in the DC area, but I was just like, man, I didn't want to move. And then September 11th had just happened. I was like, nah.
You got the right look. You got it. Yes. All right. So we've matriculated through school and we're working. Now, One of the things when I was, researching and reading about you, you worked in the financial industry, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to us a little bit about what you did, but also how that kind of set you up mentally and practically for what you didn't even really know you were getting ready to do.
Well, I've dealt with like high finance loans for automobiles, and title loans. So working with those type of people and just working with finance and being able to speak to disgruntled people and being able to, because at first I used to hate talking to people. I didn't want a job where I had to physically talk to people. I'm just being honest at the time. I didn't want to talk to people, but that prepared me to actually be able to speak to people, just from any different walks and be able to wear different hats, like being able to talk to somebody about this, be able to talk to somebody about that. So it kind of like a little bit of psychology, a little bit of work, kind of blended it all together to make me more of like a people person, I would say. So.
Wow. All right, guys. For
or
what y'all want
somebody that don't want to pay their loan back, or you already made a friendship with them and trying to convince them to pay. So it's just being able to, I guess, be able to talk to people and build rapport with people.
So you were able to really use those skills. You were able to use some of the skills that
it wasn't paying me for it though. I wasn't getting paid.
Look, you used a whole lot of abnormal psychology. I know you did.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, the part that everybody want to know about. Because see, I like to realistically, Jabbar, I like to talk about the technical piece because that's the stuff that nobody ever wants to know about. I think it's important to understand the journey because for me, if you understand the steps that you took to get there, people will stop thinking that they can just do it overnight.
Right.
And that's one of the things I love. Guys, this is the thing. And I keep this quote up because I want you to understand something. He says, let me show you how I grossed over 2 million going the rental route without physically driving the truck. Let me show you. Show means there is something to be seen. There is a process in there somewhere, right?
Right, correct.
And so let's talk about that. How did this transition occur?
Well, I got introduced to this guy that was he had semi trucks, and he was a truck driver by trade for a long time. I've always heard stories, you can make money in logistics, but I always heard that, the horror stories about it too. And the true story is I had a lady that I managed that worked for me, and her husband was a trucker. And when I hired her, she was going through a divorce, and her husband was paying her spousal support of $1,600 a month. So I'm like, damn, what this guy's doing that he's making this kind of money to be able to pay you? So like a light bulb went off in my head. And then after that, I got introduced to a guy I started in January of 2021. I got introduced to a guy that said, man, you can get into logistics. I can show you how to do it the rental route without physically purchasing a truck. So once he showed me that, I just took it and ran with it. Because I always wanted to get into it. I always hear stories about it. Like for years, I've been dibbling and dabbling because I was always like an opportunist. If it can make money and is legal, I'm going to try to figure out how to make some money in it. I mean, literally a couple years ago, I was about to sell hair.
Say it one more time. If you can make money and it's what?
It's legal.
I need you to say it one more time for them people back there that didn't hear it. And it's what?
If you can make money and it's legal, then I'll try to figure it out, try to learn it. So I just learned it and became obsessed with it.
Okay. All right. So guys, if you ain't hear nothing else, please commit to memory. Make legal money.
Yes.
You know what? Okay, let's break it down. Truck Shawty just told you a couple of different things. He said that number one, you have to build relationships. He had relationships with someone, so he was introduced to another someone who could guide him, lead him, and show him the way, right? Number two, being open to understanding that it takes time and there is no quick get-rich way to do this.
Right. Yep, that's true.
Number three, ask questions. Critically analyze whatever it is that you're trying to get into. Because if you don't, you're going to end up getting conned and scammed.
Yep, that's true.
in these streets.
Or you're gonna fail. One of the two. If you don't learn the business, you're gonna definitely
Absolutely.
fail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So you got the rental truck. And then what happened?
Oh, well, then I hired my best friend as my first driver. So I was still working a 9 to 5. And you remember I told you my mom passed away. My father passed away in 2019. So I don't have no family members. So I was at my company for 16 years. So I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to leave because I was like, yo, this is my safety net. If something happens, if it fails and I quit my job, I had nowhere to go or nobody would be homeless. So with that being said, I saved up enough money and I kept my job while I was working my 9 to 5 for a whole year. And then I said, you know what? I had enough money that if anything happened, I could survive at least a year. And then that's when I quit my 9 to 5.
Wow, amazing. And you hired your best friend, you know.
Yeah, I hired my best friend. That's dope. And he's doing really super successful right now. So I'm proud of him.
Okay, cool. Now, did he branch off and start?
Oh, yeah, so he started with me. He was my first driver in January. In September of that same year, he left and started his own company and started hiring, doing the same exact thing I was doing.
Okay, hold up. So you telling me you opened a business, you employed from within to run the business while you continue to make revenue and you know, and then it went so well that you were able to not only step away and step into your big boy season, but you were even able to put your friend in a position to win, and you were happy to do so.
Yeah. Because he always had like real good work ethic. I mean, like he was always working like 70, 80 hours, like 2 jobs. And he was like a workaholic. Like he never vacationed, never traveled, never did anything. So, and to be honest, he moved to Atlanta. I tried to get him into real estate, but that wasn't really his thing. So he shied away from it. So I called him to do the logistics and he did it, man. And he always thinks, he's like, man, you changed my life. Like he's forever grateful and thankful. Like I had a meet and greet, man, last year. He cried. He almost made me cry. Yeah, he had me choked up, but he always said,
you know what? All right, y'all, forget it. Okay, he fits. He is a damn influencer. That's what I'm going. Now that's what I'm talking about. This is who you need to be following. Okay, we're gonna run this thing back. This man saw that his friend was breaking his back, working 70 and 80 hours in a week, y'all. So he was like, all right, you know what, bro, let's do this. I know I can't leave this situation right now, but I'm going to start this situation over here. And I'm going to put you in a safe legal space to make money. And as soon as I'm protected, because right now I got you covered, but as soon as we both protected, I'm going to step away and I'm coming to help you. But not only were you able to help him, you were able to propel him. You know, guys, this is what influence is about. This is what impact is about. You earned the title of influencer. Okay. You earned the title of philanthropist. And you know what? And shout out to you. We are in the same family. People don't understand that losing your mother and your father and still being able to build brands and businesses, baby, it's hard. Trust me, I know. Yes. Super hard. Baby. Especially when you come from 2 hardworking parents that afforded you everything in this world and you ain't had to work a day in your life. Yeah. When they leave this world, baby, it's different. But I know and I can tell that they put this in you because the way you tell the story and the way you're able to sit here and be confident and comfortable in what you're saying, it tells me, you know what? I knew I was destined for greatness because mama and daddy told me this. I didn't know it was going to be this hard and they would not be here with me when I got to where I am, but they see me, and because of them and their prayers, I am going to be elevated consistently. And guys, Jabbar is a study in being an influencer and being influential and impactful. And I don't care what nobody else say. Y'all can dismiss me with all these millions and hundreds, millions, billions of followers. This is the influencer that you need to model your style after. This is the influencer that your children need to be hearing from in school. The hell with all this other stuff.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And I'm saying it. He ain't saying it. So don't try to come back and say he said it, because y'all know I don't care. Clap back if you want to, because I got something for every last one of you. But I need you to really understand these are the influences that truly are necessary in this space.
Thank you.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I mean that.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. So as we begin to kind of wind down, what values are important to you when you think about, you know, building yourself as a brand and also building your business in this space?
I would say honesty and like integrity. Like I'm real huge about my brand. By like not scamming nobody, not trying to, you know what I'm saying, like try to do anything fishy. And like I tell anybody on any platform, you find anybody, because you know there's a lot of scammers out there, a lot of people doing stuff that they really don't do. So with that being said, I always tell people I'll give anybody $10,000 if they can name one person I scam. And that's an open invitation. As long as I'm living, because I don't need to scam nobody. You see what I'm saying? I've helped thousands of people get into the industry. So loyalty, I would say, like I said, man, like just building my brand off of just being honest with people and not taking advantage of nobody. So that's what
guys, trust through transparency.
Yeah.
That's basically what he just said. Trust through transparency. Now, if someone wants to hire you as their coach or their mentor, how do they do that?
On any platform, I'll go by boxtruckshawty.com. I have all my services. What's the word I want to say? I don't have a mentorship, but I do have like a master class that I hold every month. Master class that people join. I allow them, I help them get up and running, help them get started, show them from A to Z. It's a long class. Now, I'm not going to lie. It's like 6-7 hours, but it's like a mentorship squeezed down into a master class.
Indeed.
We go over like the DAT load board. We show them how to be compliant. We show them how to book loads, basically show them how to book profitable loads. This is everything to be successful in the industry, because all of the bumps because I got 2 days ago was 3 years that I've been in business. So all of my mistakes, I put it into a class, and then that's how I showed them how to. I got 2-day, 3-day driver training classes. So pretty much, and I have an ebook. So my boxtruckshawty.com is where they can find me for all of my services.
Y'all better check it out.
Consultations, and I do consultations.
Okay. And then listen, y'all, book the consultation.
Yeah, it was 30 minutes. I do 30 minutes for $99 and $149 for an hour. And I ain't never had nobody get off there and say it was a waste of money. But
you know what though, and guys, as we get ready to close out this segment, it's so crazy when you tell somebody to book a consultation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, I just want to pick your brain. Nah, bro, you can't do that.
Right.
But the other part of it is they seem to be shopping and popping bottles,
but won't spend money on education and information.
Thank you for, you know what?
Yeah.
Levar, we bringing him back. Bringing him back. Yeah. I'm going to bring you out, Levar, before we make him leave. We bringing him back. Yeah. Don't he deserve to come back?
Yes, he definitely does. He definitely does.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Yes. Oh my God. So, Box Truck Shawty, Levar is the editor-in-chief of Snub magazine, and so he's my special guest co-host tonight, because like I said, we're talking about the difference between being a journalist and being an influencer. And it's so interesting because I told him before you got on, I said, I wanted you to be my guest. Initially, you were to be my guest the first week of the month, but I'm like, that ain't gonna work. It was necessary for you to be on this evening. Little did I know that you were going to answer the definition of what an influencer truly should be.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say should be, I'm speaking from a moral and ethical place, because in this journalism space, things have gotten so misconstrued, so bogged down. And I want to say this. It didn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't just happen. Now, it's so funny. I always make people laugh because they be like, well, how the hell old are you? Because my mother was born in 1938. Okay. And I'm only 38. So y'all do the math if you could figure it out. But I think his name was Orson Welles. And he had a radio broadcast. And y'all can look this up on YouTube. This radio broadcast convinced the United States that aliens, now mind, in 1938, this man had a broadcast and he convinced the people of the United States that aliens were attacking major cities in the U.S. And this was in 1938, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Then fast forward to the 60s. JFK and Nixon had a debate. And Nixon is the one that had the money. Nixon is the one that was like the most well known. See, the thing about JFK was barely known as a senator. Mm-hmm. He just had good looks. But guess what happened? Nixon decided to televise the debate. Who you think won the election, though? JFK. Why? He was popular because he what? He was youthful and he had good looks, and what? He had a nice looking wife. So this popularity, this commercialization, this sexualization of and sensationalization of journalism is the reason that I truly believe it's the reasoning for this skew and this gray area between journalists and influencers, because unlike yourself, who understands the process, you have so many people that will do some dumb shit, get 1 million views. Now they're an influencer. Mm-hmm. They're influencing our kids to do the stuff that they're doing, but our kids from underserved communities and some from affluent communities go out here and do this stuff, and then they either get prison or they die.
Yeah.
And so it was so important, Jabbar, to have you open this segment. And I'm not gonna hold you much longer, but I want to make sure that I drive this home. Influence should leave an impact. Mm-hmm. Influence should not be as short-lived as it is. That's why I always say influencers are short-lived.
I agree.
Influence is like a quick nut.
Yep, I agree.
But people like you that are impactful, that's legacy.
And you know what's crazy, not to cut you off, but when I started my whole journey, right? When I started like 2.5, 3 years ago with my whole Instagram stuff, I never started to be an influencer. That's the crazy thing. Like, I didn't even know what an influencer was. So all I did was, Truck Shawty started as like a novelty. It wasn't even serious. So this is a business that blew up that I didn't even expect to blow up. And all I did was post my journey and would post my numbers every week, not knowing that it would have took off like this. You see what I'm saying? I didn't come into this starting like, you know what, I'm going to jump into this to do this. I just documented my process, and I just kept getting flooded with DMs, and people asking me to do lives and interviews. And then I was like, man, what am I? And then people like, you a social media influencer? And I was like, nah, I'm not a social media influencer, but I guess I am a little bit. I guess I am a little bit, but yeah, I never did it to be a social media influencer, if that makes sense. If that makes sense.
Guys, I present to some and introduce to others Mr. Jabbar Williams, aka Box Truck Shawty. Please, please, please follow him on all platforms. Go over to his website. Even if you're not interested in the industry that he is in, book a consultation with him, because this is the thing, and this is what I want you guys to understand. When you have individuals who are truly process improvement specialists and project management individuals, realistically, they can help you strategically plan for whatever it is you want to do. And I think that's why everybody getting scammed. Mm-hmm. People see all of this glitz and glam on Instagram, and we're going to talk about these celebrity endorsements and all this fake news and false advertisements. In the second segment, Levar and I will be, talking about it a little bit. But I'm so glad you posted the process, and the process worked for you. And I'm just grateful for that. So Jabbar, you're welcome back here anytime. Thank you so much for being in the show tonight.
And something real quick to Jabbar. To one HBCU brother to another. I went to Howard. Since y'all were talking about DC.
But you ain't the real HU though.
We the real HU though, but we are. But no, I commend that, because even in the HBCU field, you don't see that many brothers graduating. So I commend you on just that at that. But then also I'm commending you also on, I think, the part of you saying that you went back and you brought other people onto those in these spaces. You made room for others in these spaces and our people. And I think that's something that's detrimental to us, because a lot of people, when they get to a certain level, they have this crab mentality. Right. And they just want to step on top of people, and they just want to it's negativity that happens. So I just wanted to take the time to commend you on that. And I appreciate people like you that, do those things.
I appreciate you for saying that, bro. And that's the truth too, because I get a lot of slack for giving out a lot of free information. You'll be surprised. I know. On Wednesdays, I go live on Instagram, and trust me, I got people like, why are you giving everybody? Why are you trying to help everybody? I feel like everybody want to be a boss or want to be rich should be able to. So I give a lot of free information out. But yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about, bro. But nice.
I don't think you can leave. Wait a minute. I don't think you can leave just yet. Hold on. Wait a minute. Because literally, the first thing that I mentioned to Levar was going to be this. I saw a post. Mm-hmm. And it was from a journalist, and I use that term lightly when I talk about this. And what they were saying was that, well, first of all, the spelling and the grammar was so off, I wouldn't even pay you to write for me. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. But they were talking about how people should pay them to interview them. Mm-hmm. And why people need to pay them to interview them and things of that nature. And so when you just talked about giving out free information, it's important to understand the ethics and the laws behind everything and anything you're doing. Mm-hmm. Because I think all of us can attest to, when you go into a specific discipline, one of the first courses that you have to take are ethical issues in whatever that field is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't think true journalists know that it is unethical to be paid to do interviews and stuff like that. There is a difference. There are three types of media: owned media, earned media, and paid media. Mm-hmm. And paid media are advertisements and sponsorships. So if you're not advertising and sponsoring, and please, for God's sake, stop telling these people that you are offering them exposure, because who and what are you really exposing them to when you haven't even exposed yourself?
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
And I think that these are the things that separate true journalists from people that just need something to do to make themselves feel valid. Or people that just don't want to work. Because I'm going to keep it real with you. Years ago, that's what people said about journalists. Oh, this field is for mass communications. It's for people that just don't want to do a job. Y'all know at HBCUs, for real, when we came through, and even probably some years before us, people that majored in interdisciplinary studies, mass communications, and even some people that were business majors. Y'all know they were like, oh, they don't know what they want to do, so they just major in something.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, it's some truth to it, because you have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the beauty with you guys is that you understand the process for what you did, and you did it in decency and in order. And so, all right, Jabbar, for real, I'm done now. Okay. But we're gonna bring you back. Okay. Thank you so much, darling, and I look forward to having you again.
Okay, nice having. And I'm having a meet and greet in April 20th. You guys are welcome to come. I'll reach back out to you guys. I'm having a big meet and greet.
Email me all the information. We will pull up.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Levar, you know what? Don't you love when you have somebody on and it just flows? I did not know that
it's an alignment. It's an alignment that happens. Yeah.
So Levar, introduce yourself to everybody and talk a little bit about you before we get into this conversation.
I'm just a regular degular, you know. No, hey everybody.
Don't be modest. Everybody else be boosting. So you don't be modest.
You know what? That's what you know. That's never been. You know, that's never been me. But hey everybody. My name is Levar. My nickname is Ramzie, as some may know me as well. I'm the editor-in-chief of Snub Magazine. I've been in this industry, not just the publication industry, but entertainment world since I was 16. So, and it's been 20 years. This year I've been in the industry for almost 20 years, and just growing from there. So that's just a little bit about me.
All right, so we're gonna dive right in. And guys, if you're on the go and you can't stop and and listen, we are streaming on Instagram Live. So if you want to go over to LilyMay_the collective, if you want to look on your device, your mobile device, please by all means head on over there. All right, Jabbar, to the business at hand. Now, Mark Twain, y'all know I like history. I'm a history buff. I like to operate, especially when we're talking about stuff like this. Levar, you know enough about me to know that I'm not going to come and debate unless I'm coming with some facts, with some scholarly research, right? And that's the thing. So, guys, first of all, let's just talk about what the definition of mass communications is. Okay. So media does 4 things. It informs, it educates, it entertains, and advertises. Do not misconstrue this. Just because you say that you are providing someone with exposure does not give you the right to charge them to interview on your platform that only you and your cousins are listening to.
That's shocking that I've been hearing that lately anyway, because even the celebrity guests that I have on my shows, there's no check that was dropped for that. So why are these people doing? Like it's not. The math isn't math. How they say it.
So, Levar, talk to us a little bit about Snubbed Magazine and kind of how you developed it and why you developed it.
It kind of goes further back than the publication world.
Okay.
So when I was 16, actually, I was modeling when I was 16, and came into the world of modeling when I was 16. Then I did a couple. Well, these were years ago. I did. what was it called on BT? Rip the Runway. I've done those shows. I've done behind the scenes audience PA at Sunday's Best, the Monique Show, some other places, and then from there I went to the publication world, where I joined another publication, and I was their executive editor. From there, I was, brought into that space. I wasn't really looking to be a part of the publication world because of the fact that I saw how the publication world was going, where we were going from the actual print version to the digital version. And that's when we started seeing like, what was it, Jet magazine, went out. I actually have the last magazine that they have in my house here, the last one that they actually published. I have that in the house, but from there, there was a couple of times that I wanted to leave this industry. I was tired of it. There was sleepless nights. There was homeless nights. To be truthful with you, there was days that there was no money. It just was so many different parts in this entertainment world that a lot of people don't understand or know about. Like everybody sees the glitz and glamour, but they just don't really know what's all put inside of it. And so from there, I stepped away from the industry and kept on getting phone calls from PRs that I worked with, some celebrity PRs and some other people like, what's going on with you? Where you at? Like, I want to shoot you some people over. Like, I want to send you some people over. I'm like, I'm not doing nothing. Like, I'm done with entertainment. I don't want to see it no more. Like, I'm good. And so the passion is still there. The passion is still there. It still sits in you. If you have the passion, you have the passion. It's not going to ever go away from you. No matter how many times you want to quit, it's going to always follow you. If that path is for you, it's for you, no matter what, And so there was many times that I was snubbed awards. And there was 3 major moments that happened to me. And so from there, I was just sitting back and thinking about it. And so in my mind, that's when Snubbed was created. Because I took that negative and turned it into a positive and made it into a whole brand. And from there, if you look at the name, it has the number 3 inside of it. So it reminds me of those 3 times. But to see where we're at 5 years later, and to see that some people, I run into people sometimes in the media world that walk up to me and say, thank you for even just putting them on. And I see them growing as well. And it's just like, it's refreshing to see it. So Snub was born 5 years ago. We're celebrating our 5 years this year. And we're just a positive space. There's too much negativity that goes on in the world. And our platform was a platform to only highlight positivity. We don't talk about celebrity gossip. We don't go into the people, because what happens with gossip is people make up so much stuff that it becomes people thinking it's facts, and so what we stand on is integrity, values, morals, and from there we've created a whole brand. It may not be the trend that everybody wants to follow, but it's the standard that we set. So yes.
Okay.
Was it a mouthful?
See, this is the thing. And shout out to everybody checking in from Instagram. Guys, if you're checking in on Instagram, make sure you go over to the YouTube so that I can definitely see. You got Miss Connie Banks. Loca FM has tuned in. A lot of people are tuned in on Instagram. So shout out to you guys. If you get an opportunity, like I said, go on over to YouTube, check us out there so that we can definitely, acknowledge your comments. But Levar, all right. Let's start. Let's start with the news. Now, we know that from the beginning of time, and I just talked about it even with the debates, that the news takes a liberal perspective or conservative perspective. That's a given.
Right.
But we also know that those individuals are trained. They are reporters and journalists. And there are 2 different things, guys, because generally reporters are reporting on facts, right? Journalists generally are focusing in on their specific area of expertise and reporting on that. So reporters generally get the information in and report on it, where the journalists generally are going out getting the information and, in a specific area. Now, it's important that you understand that. Number two, understanding that just because you have a following, that does not mean you are an authority on anything. I am so confused because Levar, I see these people and they advocating for this and they advocating for that, but yet all I do is see them hen and hawing and taking selfies on the red carpet. And from what I learned, red carpet etiquette, no selfies with people. If you're on one side of the rope, you should not be seen in the photos or the interviews. You should be interviewing people from behind the rope. If you are a true journalist, the only thing that really needs to be seen is or heard is your voice.
And that's something. Well, etiquette is not no more on the carpets, to be honest with you. And sadly, it's because everybody wants I think from the past to now, looking at how it was, there was a point when that was the only time that you actually had any type of interactions with those individuals. And then after that, there would be another lane that they would go backstage or they would go in their respective spaces. But now it's to the point that everybody has access to it. And when they have access to it, that's when people can make up any type of caption. And what happens then is, and which is funny to me, is because, as you know, we work in this industry, and we talk to these celebrities, and some of these celebrities, some people I'm close to, and some people I actually know. We sit back sometimes and look at these captions and laugh because everybody's your bro and your sis, but you've never in your life has ever met them or ever worked with them before, or they will take it and say, oh, look, this is my client. Recently, there was a blast that happened I seen recently, where a person is no longer working for another person, and that celebrity had to come out and say it, but it's been months that they haven't, but that person was capitalizing off of just those pictures and those photos and everything else. So the etiquette and the integrity of being behind the scenes, many don't understand it because everybody now wants to be in front of the camera and don't know that even has the etiquette spot as well.
Even down to being naked. And this is my thing. Guys, this is what separates a journalist from an influencer. Why are you everywhere? What is your area of expertise if you are in fact a journalist? I had to check myself because coming out here, getting these invitations to come to all this stuff and go to all this stuff, and I'm going here and I'm going there. And Levar, I really had to really think about it. I was like, I don't need to be in these spaces because realistically, and when it got to the point where I'm cussing folks out more than I'm actually doing what I came here to do, it's time for me to go because this is not the space for me.
Yeah.
People don't understand, once again, and I'm going to keep saying it, don't understand etiquette because you're not a journalist. You are trying to figure out who you are by social media standards. So you're doing all of these things. Like, it's a sad day when people are begging for money to pay for them to go on a trip, to the Super Bowl, to the Stellar Awards, to the Grammys, to the Oscars, just so they can say that they were in the city at the time that this was going on. And the audacity. I would be ashamed to be asking people for money to go somewhere just so I can look like I'm doing something.
And the crazy part about it is a lot of times they don't know that us journalists are sometimes even the ones getting flown out to just be in those spaces. And we're not paying for those. We're actually asked to be in those rooms, in those spaces. And sometimes, yes, there may be some things that there may be some times that I may myself pay to go, like, okay, well, this is a quick flight. I can do it, like, and it's something that I want to attend and be at. And it may be somewhere that I know that I can network,
That's it.
Yeah.
That part. But see, there's a difference between making an investment in yourself for the betterment of your business versus wanting somebody to pay your way somewhere. And I think what's pissing me off about it, and why I say these people are wanting to be somebody, because you're charging the people that look like you. Because these celebrities that are coming on your platform, you can't charge them because they ass not gonna pay you and they not gonna show up. And I think it's a sad day when you're capitalizing on the very people that really don't have it to give to you, but yet and still you want reparations. Y'all talking about somebody owe you reparations. Well, you owe these people reparations because you capitalizing and disenfranchising your own people, trying to get ahead when all you need to do is go get you a damn 9 to 5 and work both until you can sustain yourself.
And I think people don't recognize that a lot of us in the entertainment world, some of us actually continue to have our 9 to 5s. We're still doing what we do behind the scenes. We just know how. The thing about it is we have time management. A lot of people don't have time management. And so from there, all you're worried about is every day is having that phone and being on it in a certain way. At the end of the day, I have 5 or 6 computers up and I'm going at the same time. I'm still going to make my money no matter what. I'm still going to travel. You think that some of us are traveling and showing off, but the thing about it is we have a 9 to 5, or we have 2 other incomes coming in. I believe in weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and yearly income. That's me. That's how I live. I don't want to walk around that way, But at the end of the day, I also have a certain appearance because I am a brand. I have to represent a certain way. I have a certain way I walk into rooms. That people don't think of all those aspects when they come in these rooms. They don't think about those things. And it comes to a point where even sometimes when I've been on some carpets where I don't even know who some of the media people are, because there's so many people that have made up their names and made who they are, that when journalists come in or publications come in that have created a name for themselves, it's hard for us to get in those spaces, which then I turn around and look and it's like, well, where is the story? Where is it at on the internet? Where is it at on social media? It was nothing. It was just a photo opportunity. I've been to carpets where some people just have cameras and pretend that they're taping stuff, but they're not taping nothing. There was no battery in it. There's a lot of people that are playing these roles. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your integrity and what people see. And that's why things have doors open up a certain way I can speak for my brand because of the fact that people can go anywhere. If you go online, you're going to see it. You're going to see what we have. You're going to see our shoots. You're going to see what it was invested to create this brand. We're not just saying we're somebody. We are this,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And guys, if you're just checking in, this topic is so important because, Levar, and I'm in this Atlanta area. And one of the things I said to someone today, I said, I almost wish I would have stayed in Virginia and just came here when I was requested. Mm-hmm. Because being here and really seeing what this space looked like, instead of it making me appreciate Black culture, it has literally made me sick. And I shouldn't say Black culture because it's not Black culture, because historically African American people are strong, determined people of character and integrity. This is nigger culture, some of the things that I see. And guys, if you don't understand what nigga is, it's ignorance. So a nigga can be any color. A nigga can be of any ethnicity. The ignorance that I see is so it's perplexing, because then I see the people that support and allow these people on their carpet. So, sometimes I ask the publicist, like, how do you choose who gets on the carpet? And I already know that for some publicists, it's a lifestyle thing. For some publicists, it's, a numbers thing. For some publicists, it's a relationship thing. But what I'm finding is that you get a carpet full of influencers, but you're not getting stories.
And that's when it comes down to, like, I tell some journalists that I talk to, or some people in media, because there's been a couple people that asked me, like, how do I get into media, or, what's the steps and the roads? And I don't mind, sharing what it is that I've done. But I tell people all the time, my road may not be the same road as, what may be for you. But I think another thing is people have to understand that that's the importance of networking. Because of the fact that you need to travel in other states, because what works in Atlanta is not going to work in LA. It's not going to work in New York. And so that's where, like, I tell people all the time, that differentiates us from what we do, because I can make phone calls and be in those spaces in New York. I can turn around and be in those spaces in LA's. That doesn't, I stuff in here in DC. Like, there's different places that I can walk into. So if you're so big on you being your brand and you blogging, being an influencer, take it national. Make your brand. If that's what you want to do, take it national. Stop thinking I'm going to stay in this certain city, because that's what happened with Snub. I always kept on. At first, we were going to start off in Atlanta because that was our base. But then, we need to branch off. We need to do that. Take those steps. If people tell you no, it's okay. Keep on doing it. You need to keep on pressing the bar and pushing the bar. So yeah.
Well, Levar, it's so, and I think that's what happened. One thing you said, focusing in on the positivity, I had to change my mindset. I said, hold up, Lil. Use the area for the asset. Hartsfield Jackson Airport. Levar, St. Louis, Chicago, Detroit, Houston, Dallas, Sacramento, Seattle, Philly, DMV. The love that is received, the business that the brand gets in those markets is impeccable.
Yeah.
Like, but it just makes you wonder, what's the difference? But I know, and I don't even know why I asked the question, because I know what the difference is.
I think also it adds to the fact of, you also have to understand, at the end of the day, being in media, we're still humans. A lot of people like to put us on certain platforms. There's people that sometimes reach out on me on Instagram as if, like, I'm on some higher platform and they can't speak to me. And I'm like, yo, we can have a conversation. I'll respond right back right then at that moment. Just because I go to a carpet or I do certain things, I'm still a human being. I still have interactions with people. I'm not up too far up there yet in life that I have to have somebody use my phone. Not yet. Maybe one day, God knows. But at the same time, understand that you're human as well. These influencers, they got to understand that too, because as we see in social media, it takes 2 seconds for you to be canceled. That cancel culture is nothing to play with. They will cancel you in 2.5 seconds and you won't have it no more. And I think I recently just saw a story of a lady where she went to Houston or Dallas because she wanted to be an influencer and took her kids with her. And now she's in a homeless shelter. Like, I just saw this story like recently. But like, people need to understand that, like, this life, it can be taken away from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this influencer life can be taken away from you. This journalist life can be taken away from you at a moment as well. But you got to understand your purpose and what your passion is. And if that's what you want to go after, don't just be stuck in that one city. Yes, everybody may know you in Atlanta. Yes, everybody may know you in New York. But if you step outside that city, do everybody know who you are? Can you pick up the phone and call a publicist? Can you book in another city? Those type of things should be running through your head at the same time. So you should create your network off of that, you know?
Wow, guys, we're going to continue this conversation. We're going to begin to wind down. Levar, thank you so much for coming on. And I do want to continue this conversation. Now, guys, next Tuesday, like Levar said, you know, you got to go other places. So next Tuesday, I'm gonna be mid-flight when we're supposed to air. So what we'll do, Levar, if you are available, we'll air on Wednesday once I get to my destination, and we'll be able to air Wednesday. But guys, if y'all didn't take away anything from tonight, take away these things: ethics, morals, and values are going to always trump popularity. It may not trump it here on earth, but I guarantee you, when your time is up and they start winding you down or they push you in that incinerator, you are going to wish you would have done better, you would have acted better, and you would have known better. Because a physical death isn't the worst thing that can happen. A spiritual death will kill you before you even leave this world. I want to leave you with this last quote, and we're going to take it out. Tracy Chapman said, "We have more media than ever and more technology in our lives. It's supposed to help us communicate, but it has the opposite effect of isolating us." But I'm going to take it a step further. It has isolated us into a false reality. Guys, I charge you, come back to the real world, step into actuality, and then see just how influential you are. It's your girl, Lily Mae. This is Levar, editor-in-chief of Snubbed Magazine, and we will see you next week. Have a great evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.